Good morning, ladies. Happy Monday and welcome to Coffee and a Card. Every Monday I do a Stampin' Up tutorial, doing a card and having a cup of coffee. If you want to join me, just have a quick drink. And this is one of a batch of thank you cards that I sent to my Stampin' Up customers this month, along with the little thank you gifts that I send. And it's what I call budget friendly, because it's using beautiful DSP in a very budget friendly way. And this is a tip that I learned when on a Stampin' Up like team event from a lady there, and her name was Heidi, and she'd done this on one of her cards, and I was like, why didn't I ever think of that? So I'm going to show you. Now this one has been done in Sweet Sugar Plum, and this is the Blossom and Blooms paper, and I've used the Sweet Sugar Plum ink. I'm going to do a different colour for you today, just to show you that I do other colours. Pink tones are my favourite colours, I will say, but today I'm going to do Dapper Denim, which is obviously blue. So, I've used scraps, and that is what you use to create this illusion that you've backed onto DSP. Okay, it's a very budget friendly way of either using your DSP to create cards in bulk or using up scraps. Either way. Okay, so I've done my card base. Let me just zoom out slightly. Out, not in. And my card base is always these very basic, always start at 11 inches by 4 inches, and then they score in the middle at 5.5 inches. I always do these ones the same, always, because then they fit nicely in the you know, the standard size envelope. And I always try and keep these flat, with not a lot of embellishments and big bulky things, because then they'll go in the post, you know, on a normal stamp without costing a fortune. So without further ado, we've got our 2 strips of DSP. Like I say, they're cut to the same length as the card, which here is 5.5 inches. And then I've just cut a 1-inch strip, and I've cut 2 of them, so we're going to put them at each side. I've attached them with tape. Look, I'm pre-prepared this morning. Let's see if it helps me be any more organised. I very much doubt it, but we can try, can't we? I keep trying these things to be more efficient, but you know, I don't think it's really me. I'm always going to be a bit of a train wreck. But, you know, ladies don't seem to mind. You know, we're not all massive card geniuses. Oh, that one's a little bit long. I must have cut it to 5.5 instead of... I must have cut it just slightly wrong. Let me just trim it. Doesn't matter. Does that mean this one's going to be slightly long as well? Yeah. I've cut them wrong. Typical. Yeah, my card is 5.5, so I've just cut them just slightly wrong. I don't know, it's early morning and, you know, oh dear. So you need to cut these strips at 1 inch by 5.5 inch, ladies. Not any old measurement and then trim it off afterwards. Although that does work, doesn't matter. No, but yeah, it's a good way of using your scraps. And of course you can, let me just turn it over. I've not put that on very straight either. Never mind. You can, you know, if you've got smaller scraps, you could do them the other way. Whichever. It'll all work. That one's not on terribly straight. I wonder if I can redo that. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim it off, because it doesn't matter. Let's trim that off and hide our mistake. Because that's all you have to do. Just trim it off. Nobody will know. Okay? Nobody knows. See? Nobody knows. There's only you lot know. About maybe 200 people that'll watch this video knows that I've cut that wrong. And I'm not bothered. Right, now. So then you've got this band here. You can do what you want. What I've done is I've pre-cut. Hopefully it's the right size. I wonder if it's my card base that's wrong. No, that's right. So I've pre-cut some Whisper White. Again, this can, I always save my scraps, you have offcuts, whatever. If you can use those, that's even better. So this one is, I believe, let me just double check, 'cause you know me and measuring, 2.5 by 5.5. Yeah, okay. So that will just overlap, if you can just see, it will just overlap that DSP slightly, okay, and then cover up the fact that you don't have any underneath. Okay, it's just a good way of using up your scraps. I'll say it again. Now we're going to do some stamping on this one. Hopefully it's going to go right, and we're going to do a little bit of inking as well, using the Stampin' Up sponges. So I'm using the all coordinating. I find it easier to stick to one colour, and then you really can't go wrong. For a basic card, you know, I mean, you can do all singing, all dancing cards, but for a basic one that you want to make really quickly, stick to just one colour scheme. The great thing with Stampin' Up is that everything matches. That card, that paper, this ink are all the same colour, so they can't not match. Okay, so you're not getting any different shades, they're all the same. Right, so I'm coming in with these stamps. These are, again, I'm using them again. I will use stamps over and over again, as well as selling, you know, as part of my Stampin' Up job. What am I trying to say? I'm gabbling here. Not only is part of my job to sell, but also part of my job is to show you what to do with things, and to show you that you can buy your stamps and reuse them and reuse them and reuse them in different ways, so that you don't have to have loads of things. If you're on a budget, just pick a few. That's what I was trying to get out. Oh, give me a break, it's Monday morning. So this is a thank you stamp, and it's from Flourishing Phrases. I use it a lot, it's my go-to. I have got them on a wood block, you can get them on clear mount. These are clear mount. That's one thing I just want to remind ladies, when it says clear mount in the catalogue, it means it goes on a clear block. Doesn't mean the stamp's clear. If you want a clear stamp, you need to look for photopolymer, okay? If the description is clear mount, it means it mounts on a clear block, so they're going to be red rubber. A few people make that mistake. I made that mistake when I first joined. Right, so I've inked this up, and I'm just going to stamp it at the bottom as nicely as and as centrally as I can, but if it's not perfect, we don't mind. It doesn't matter. It's handmade, okay? It's not being churned out by a laser printer in a factory. These are handmade with love, so they don't have to be perfect. I've gone for the large butterfly from the butterfly star. Oh, it's not here. Well, it's here. This one, Papillon Potpourri, and I've chosen the flowery one because then it matches in nicely with the DSP. I'm just going to pre-practice this stamp because I don't want it to really smudge just now. Yep, that's fine. It's the first time I've used this Dapper Denim ink. It's new to me, so I wasn't quite sure how juicy it was. So I'm stamping a large one at the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp a large one at the top. Like so. And then I've got the smaller one, which is in the same set, and it's the same, a flowery one. They're so pretty. Look how nicely this ink, let me just zoom in. Look how clear that image is on that stamp. It's stunning. And this is, you know, a go-to stamp set for me. I'll stamp that in the middle. Okay, like so. How pretty is that? Now, I'm just going to allow that to, I'll put my ink over here. Put my ink out the way, otherwise what I do is I put my card on top of my ink and then I end up with a big inky mess. I'm just going to let that dry a minute because I'm going to ink over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an insert. Because it's a dark card, I like to put an insert. So I've pre-cut one here. Ta-da! And the measurement for this, just to fit nicely inside, this was a scrap piece. So, you know, I've just cut it so that it fits. Doesn't matter if it's not exactly a 1/4 of an inch increment all of the time, as long as it's equal. So this is 3 1/4 by 5. Okay. Now what I'm going to do here is, because we've got the dark card underneath and we've got the white card and we're going with the butterfly theme, I'm going to get my small butterfly punch, which will punch out those small butterfly stamps, and I'm just going to go in one corner and at an angle like so. I'm not going to waste that because I'll save that for another project, and that has stamped out a lovely butterfly. So then when it's layered on, you'll see the coloured card underneath. And what I'm going to do, just to add a little bit more interest, if I can find it, here we are, I'm going to just round off the corners. One there, and one there. That edge is a bit ropey, I'm not right impressed with it. Let me just have a little trim. There we go. There we go, and I'm going to have it that way. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use some skinny tape. This is my own skinny tape, this, that I've picked up in some random craft shop or at a random craft fair somewhere. It's just a really skinny one for when, you know, because I want to go around this delicate butterfly. And it's just tear tape. Turn it round, put some on the other side. And I'm only going to go up to there so that I don't need to waste tear tape. You don't have to put tape all the way around. This is another one. And I'm just cutting 2 squares. It's not necessary to have it all the way around for an insert, like so. Okay, my paper's sliding. This is drying. Right, let's see if we can get this off successfully without... my hand-eye coordination really isn't very good for a stamper. It's terrible. Oh, my dogs are yapping. I do apologise if you can hear them barking. There's not a right lot I can do about it. Just ignore them. And I'm just going to put that in the inside. Just as straight and as central as I can. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And that looks really pretty. Well, I think it does. Let me just zoom out slightly. Okay. Now we're going to finish off our card front. So I'm going to get a Stampin' Up sponge. See if we can get one that hasn't been used or has been used on a light colour. Now I'm going to bring in a special mat that one of my friends gave me. It's an inking mat, silicone mat. You can pick them up inexpensively. Have a look on your crafting websites, on eBay or whatever, or keep your eyes out at your craft fairs. And basically, it's just, you know, it gives a slippery surface, and you start inking on the mat and go onto your card so that it gives a lighter effect and a more blend. It just helps you blend. It's an ink blending mat. That's what we're calling it. But you can do it just on a scrap of paper. It will work. So I'm inking up my sponge and I'm starting on the mat here, not straight onto the card. And I'm going to go around in a circular motion and then go onto the card. Okay. And it will give a nice dark edge to the edge of the card, but a blended look on the rest of the cardstock. Just give that a smudge. Keep smudging. And then I just like to go a little bit heavier in the corners, just to give a bit of definition, sort of thing. I know what I mean. And there you go. And now that is heaps of fun. I love inking. I'm going to move that out of the way. Now I'm going to move my mat so I don't get inkylicious mess everywhere. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can have a look at that inked up effect. Isn't that pretty? I'm just going to give it a second to dry off. I've already used sticky tear tape on the back to be prepared so that my video wasn't so long. I'm even getting better at getting that off. Look at that, woohoo! It's the red line tape that's difficult. It really is horrible to work with. Right, so I'm just getting my card now. I'm going to line this up as best I can. Just have a look. All right, go up to the top. Again, you know, it doesn't have to be like total precision, so long as it's roughly straight. And there you go, you've got a really pretty card with an inked effect. So although it's basic techniques, you're using a technique, inking, stamping, and that almost looks like they're cut out and the DSP is showing behind because the stamp matches so nicely to that DSP. Absolutely lovely. And then you've got the insert. I hope you like that, ladies. Very simple but very effective. I'll leave all of the links below so that you can shop directly online with me, or if you'd like to join my Stampin' Up team. I'll also leave a link to my blog post, which will say again exactly which products I've used and the measurements, although it's not difficult. But they will be there, ladies, so please go on over and have a look at the blog. I'd love to see you over there. Leave me a little comment if you go, that would be really lovely of you. And that's today's coffee in a can. I hope you'll try it, and I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.